Hello everyone. Today me and my group mates will talk about Azerbaijan religiosity. Oruç will talk about religion in the period of Atropatena and Albania. Ilnur will talk about religion in the 10th century. Ervin will talk about religion in the period of 10th, 17th century. Pervin will talk about religion until 21st century. Lala will talk about religious holidays, and the last, Nazim will talk about religion in the modern period. The peculiarities of the historical development of Azerbaijan, its geographical position, and the national composition of the population created favorable conditions for the spread of different religions in the country, such as religions as Hellenism, Zoroastrianism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and the others managed to spread over the country in different periods of time, interacted with one another, and established a specific religious life in a country. Atheism established on the basis of primitive religions as a totally of all polytheistic beliefs. The Hellenism beliefs of the population of Azerbaijan date back to antiquity and cover different national faiths beginning from animism, fetishism, and the religion of totem shamanism up to beliefs in the single god. Through based on fire worship, Zoroastrianism emerged as an independent religion. Both pointed out that Zoroastrianism had been the most ancient among the prophetic religions. Historically, Judaism has been represented by the mountain Jews. Moses Kalankatisi refers to the arrival of mountain Jews in the Caucasus to the 1st century BC, while researchers have different views upon this issue. Christianity influenced Azerbaijan by means of the Kafkas Albania in the first years of the new era in times of Christ's apostles. The last I want to mention Islam, which emerged in the Arabian Peninsula in the early 7th century, soon managed to cover the biggest part of the world. Azeri population was converted to the Islam by the early representatives of this religion in the 18th year of the Muslim era, which means 639. That's all. Now I give my floor to my group mate Oruç. He will talk about religion in the period of Albania and Atropatena.
Thank you, Nijat. Good day, everyone. My name is Orji Skendarov, and I want to start my speech with religiosity in prehistory period. As people developed and changed, they developed different religious beliefs, and I am going to share these beliefs and when they have formed. Some of beer schools date to the Paleolithic period found in the Azov cave are marked. This is due to the presence of belief in animals, simple rites, and totems. During this period, fire was used in Azov cave, and people considered fire as sacred and worshipped it. In the Middle Paleolithic period, there were changes in attitude of ancient people to the environment and religious beliefs. Belief in hereafter first appeared during this period. Forms of religious abilities related to the animals, magic, and belief in nature have emerged. During the Mesolithic period, people believed in the hereafter, and at the time of burial, they placed tools, ornaments next to the dead. Such items were found in the graves of the Firuz camp in the Gobustan. In the early Bronze Age, the dead were buried outside their settlements, and cremation and collective burial ceremonies were established. The religious beliefs of the late Bronze Age include the worship of fire, water, mountains, forests, and the growth of various trees. Now I want to continue with religiosity in Atropatene, which is an ancient state that exists in the part of the historical lands of Azerbaijan. The ancient Atropatenians worshipped the Zoroastrian religion created by Zoroaster. Various Mazdaist teachings were prevalent here and in the surrounding areas. And it is probable that at the beginning of that millennium, they were centers of young Avesta beliefs. The Avesta is sacred book of Zoroastrianism. In Atropatena, some tribes practiced pagan religions, many of which were influenced by Greco-Roman culture. In the first centuries AD, also Christianity began to spread here. And now I would like to talk about the religiosity in Caucasian Albania. Caucasian Albania is also a historical state that exists in the territory of historical Azerbaijan. In pre-Christian times, Albanian tribes worshipped various Greek gods and goddesses as well as fire. According to Strabo, the gods identified with Zeus, Selena, and Helios were worshipped in ancient Caucasian Albania. Christianity spread in Caucasian Albania in 54 to 57 AD. One of the oldest Christian churches in the whole Christian world is the Albanian church. Now I am giving my floor to Elnur. Thank you for your attention.
Hello everyone, I'm Elnur Agazadeh. Now I will talk about the Islamic period in Azerbaijan. Before starting, I want to mention that there were two main religions in Azerbaijan before Arabs coming. They were Zerdusht and Christianity. And now I want to talk about the Islamic period in Azerbaijan. Uh, and in Azerbaijan, most people, when Arabs come first time, most of the people accept Islam, and the first times, I mean the period of Prophet Muhammad and 12 imams, they spread Islam voluntarily, and they didn't force anyone to change their religious belief. And but after their power, other caliphs didn't do that, and they tried to spread Islam with how to say power. They forced people to accept Islam religion, and after the 7th and 8th century, Islam became the main religion in Azerbaijan. In that period, the Khilafat put some taxes on people. One of them was called jizya, which is levied on non-Muslims. If non-Muslim people didn't serve in the army, they had to pay that tax. And another one is fitra and zakat. They were levied in the Ramadan month actually, and that money was donated to the people who need it, actual poor people. And as you know, this tradition also exists in our daily life. And in the Ramadan month, people give an amount of money to poor people for gaining for like donation, and it's our how to say religious tradition. And I want to mention that also in that times, all the documents, all the poems, all the things, all the works had to be written in Arabic or maybe Persian language. That's that was demanded from all the people. And as I want to now mention that in Kitabı Gorgud, Islamic period also was mentioned in that book, and there were some traces about before and after the Islamic period, and we can see that here Dada Gorgud lived at the same time with Prophet Muhammad. It makes how to say 7th century. And after the Arab conquest, that developed Azerbaijan's architecture monuments also developed and new buildings how to say appeared in Azerbaijan. New mosques, madrasas, tombs, and caravansaras were built in Azerbaijan, and one of the most famous one is located in Şamaxı. It's called Joy Masjid, and there were some cities who became the largest and most developed cities named Şamaxı, Marağa, Urmiya, Şəmkir, Beyləqan, Gəncə, Naxçıvan, and so on. And Beyləqan, Gəncə, and Naxçıvan became the largest cities of Azerbaijan at that times. And during that period, along with the buildings related to Islam, Christian temples and defensive force structures were built in some provinces of the Caucasian Albania as well. And that's it for me. Now my group mates will continue.
Thank you. Now let me continue with the independent countries established in the downfall of Abbasid Caliphate. Sajid, Salarids, and Shirvanshahs, as the successor of Arabian Caliphate, adopted Islam as the gluing force of Turkic tribes living in the South Caucasus. This was an important tipping point in the establishment of Azerbaijan nation, as it will help the later occurred Seljuk campaigns to occupy these territories. Alongside this advantage, we can also mention the role of madrasa, which has the initial aim of giving religious education in creating the literate population of Muslims, since they were also teaching logic, maths, and other natural sciences. Bahmanyar bin Merzbani is one of the most popular philosophers of Azerbaijan who has gained his education in madrasa. If you look at the importance of Islam during the Seljuk campaigns, there are more than the foundation of Azerbaijan nation. That is, Seljukis fought against the Christian bloc of Armenian, Georgian, and Byzantines, and the adoption of Islam both by Seljuk Turks and the independent Azerbaijani states made it possible to resist the Christian bloc altogether. Furthermore, the Islamic unity protected Azerbaijani territories from the Slavic attacks as well in this period. If you look at the architectural remains of Islam in the end period of Abbasids, this includes very valuable pieces such as mosque in Şamaxı, several guest houses, also known as caravansaras, turbas, and etc. The Gorgu Depos is also considered to get into writings in this period in Arabic alphabet, which also contains the Islamic figures and symbolism in it. For the written cultural heritage related to Islam, we can show Nizami Ganjavi and other poets' minajats, for example, which is the appreciation of greater God. We can show these as examples. And Mongol campaigns in these territories were also affected by Islam, as we can remark the fact that as soon as Ghazan Khan became the ruler of Elkhanis, he switched to Muslim and changed his name to Mahmud in order to gain support from the local Azerbaijani population. His reforms in every sector were based on the Islamic values. Fazlullah Rashidaddin was the head of Tabriz higher madrasa, which taught Islam as well as the natural sciences during the Mongolian reign in these lands. After the Mongols, Karakoyunlu and Afghanlu states also helped the Islamic values flourish. Famous Blue Mosque and Hasht Behisht in Tabriz, Sheikh Junayd Maqbara in Gusar praises the Islamic roots of Azerbaijani population in this period. And now Elnur Parvin will continue.
In the 7th century, Arabs brought Islam to Azerbaijan progressively, displacing Christianity and other faiths. The first Shah of the Safavid dynasty, Shah Ismail, 1486 to 1524, established Shia Islam as a state religion in the 16th century. A part of the population remained Sunni. At the same time in history, the populations of what is now Iran and Azerbaijan were converted to Shia Islam. In Azerbaijan, like in the rest of the Muslim world, the two branches of Islam clashed. The adoption of Shia Islam as an official religion sparked conflict between the Safavid monarchs and the Ottoman Empire's governing Sunnis. Because of Russia's succession of battles with Ottoman Empire in the 19th century, many Muslims immigrated from Russia and controlled Azerbaijan. As a result, by the late 19th century, the Shia community in Russia, Azerbaijan had become the majority. The Russian Empire seized Azerbaijan in 1806 when it attacked Qajar, Iran during the Russian-Persian War, 1804 to 1813. As a result of the Treaty of Gulistan in 1813, Iran was compelled to practically all of Azerbaijan to Russia. All of this, however, was only confirmed in the aftermath of the second and last conflict between Russia and Iran, the Russian-Persian War 1826 to 1828, and the Treaty of Turkmenchai of 1828. Azerbaijan claimed independence from Russia in 1918, establishing the Azerbaijan Democratic Republic led by the Musavat Party, but was retaken by the Soviet Union in 1920. Azerbaijan had around 2,000 mosques prior to the establishment of Soviet authority. The majority of mosques were shuttered in the 1930s, and just a few were permitted to reopen during World War II. There were 17 mosques in Azerbaijan under the Azerbaijan SSR. In the 1980s, Baku had just 2 major mosques and 5 lesser mosques, while the rest of the nation had only 11 mosques. Thousands of unofficial halls of worship and several underground Islamic sects supplement the officially sanctioned mosques. The town of Nardaran, 25 kilometers northeast of Baku, Nardaran was the only area in Azerbaijan where its residents were devotedly religious and fundamentalist, where its streets displayed religious flags, and where most women wore chadars in public. The now banned Islamic part of Azerbaijan was created and had its headquarters in this town. The increased number of Muslims led in the construction of almost 2,000 mosques by 2014. Following independence, the religious rules are pretty clear. Azerbaijan is designed as a secular state in Article 7 of the Constitution. Azerbaijan has always been a secular state. According to a 1998 survey, the proportion of ardent believers in Azerbaijan is close to 7%, slightly higher than the number of declared atheists, nearly 4%. The largest numbers falling into the category of those who regard Islam above all as a way of life without strict observance of prohibitions and requirements, or a fundamental part of national identity. In 2010 study, just half of Azerbaijan's state religion was a significant part of their everyday life.
Hello everyone, I am Lala Musayeva. Today I will talk about it, religious holiday. I want to start it with Ramadan. You know, we are in Ramadan holiday. Fasting is one of the holy holidays of Islam. The history of this holiday begins the second year of the Hijri calendar, according to the Muslim calendar, because fasting to observe the months of the Ramadan, it's also called Ramadan fasting. Ramadan, in Islam, the months of Ramadan considered the most compassionate and sacred months of the year. He is also figurated called the Sultan of the 11 months, because the Holy Quran was related one of the nights of the month. That night is called the night of the night of power. It's not known what day our night gather is. There are various legends about this, but this general opinions that night of the Gadir is one of the last 10 nights of Ramadan, but also nights are of the single day. Next holiday is Qurban Bayramı. It's Qurban Bayramı, one of the holiest holiday in Islamic world and celebrated with some another Muslim countries. There are different forms of the sacrifice in the three heavenly religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. However, in Islam, this month is has a special meaning and significance. It's based and on the internal love for God and deep faiths, and they are they pray to God. And so Qurban Bayramı, which call people halal, and some interesting history and conditions. So, however, some describing to power loyalty to God, Abraham was willing to sacrifice his son Ismail. However, already Allah didn't allow that allowed to happen. This manager has sent to the realm of sacrifice. Therefore, this holiday sometimes call it the sacrifice of Islam. So the some gods, and this has also some religions has in this holiday. So next holiday is the history of the holiday of in Novruz. Holiday. Then this holiday's history is very old. In ancient Babylon, the festival lasted 15 days. However, each of these 15 days had its own rituals and own entertainment. It's the first written sources says in Novruz holiday was established in 5005 BC. During the Soviet era, Novruz was called unofficially because authorized didn't allow this persuaded people, and but in spite of this, every Azerbaijan family celebrated his this holiday and faithful country's month traditions. Novruz is also first celebrated at the level of 1967 it's like 1967. In fact, people do not celebrate this holiday because this is not Islamic actually, but it's the firework display. One of the traitors ateşperestlik it supported this supported this holiday. So, and I want to speak last holiday. It's in addition, Azerbaijan celebrates Easter, like Pascha, which belongs in Christianity. In terms of this position and symbolism, it's this calendar. Easter is based Pascha and one of the ancient Jewish holiday, and some people call it Passover, Easter, Pascha, and so on. And this time people distribute different kind of cookies and their like Easter eggs that symbolize empty loam and Jisoo. Thank you for listening. Now my groupmate Nazrin will continue.
Thank you, Lala. Good afternoon, everyone. It's the last part of our presentation. As everybody knows that Azerbaijan is a Muslim country, that's why there are a lot of religious beliefs, such as pirs, shrines, seyyids, and etc. First of all, I want to give information about seyyids. According to Azerbaijan Shias, the owners of mediator spirits are people called seyyids, who are historical people of blood kinship with imams, descendants of Prophet Muhammad. And I remember from my childhood with my parents and my grandparents, we visited the house of seyyids. We were giving nazir and taking candy from there to have our prayers answered. According to the belief, seyyid passed from father to his children. That's if the only mother in the family is a seyyid, her children are not called seyyids. I can count many names of seyyids. The most famous of them is Mir Mefsum Ağa. I firmly believe that you know him. People visit both his house and the shrine prepared for him and pray. There is even a rule that you can't enter the shrine in shoes. Moreover, I am from Zengilan district, and our district also had a Seyyid Hasan Ağa. We also visit his house. It doesn't matter which shrine I go to. I always feel happy when I am there and I pray a lot. Now I will talk about famous pier and shrines. There are about 500 piers in Azerbaijan. People actively visiting a significant part of this pilgrimage place believe that many of them have healing power for the hopeless sick, and many others help people to get their prayers on various matters addressing God accepted by him. Firstly, Tazapir Mosque is located in Baku. Its construction began in 1905 and was finished by 1914. The idea for the mosque as well as its financing was provided by an Azeri philanthropist, a female, Nabat Khanım Ashurbayeva. Secondly, is Ashabi Kef, is the name of the mountain and the shrine, the sacred place of the people of Nakhchivan. Ashabi Kef cave is located between the mountains. Ashab means teenage boys, and Kaf means a cave, place of refugee, and there are some legends about it. Thirdly, Genge Imamzadeh is a religious architectural complex. The complex was formed around the tomb of Imam Muhammad Baqir's son Ibrahim, who died in the 8th century. And the last but not least one is Bibi Heybat Mosque. Bibi Heybat Mosque is located on the shores of Bakubay. Here is the grave of Hazrat Hakima, the daughter of Imam Kazım, and the 7th Imam in Shiism, and the grandson of the Imams, who 2 sons and the daughter. And there are many examples of this. Now I want to finalize our presentation with the sentence: Azerbaijan is developing religiously and protecting its values day by day. Thank you for listening and watching our presentation.